This is a Headgum podcast.
Did you just call me Al, by the way?
She said Allie.
Oh, do you want me to call you Al? You can call me Al. You can call me Al.
You can call me Al.
I'm so dumb.
Hey, Jessi Klein.
Hi, Liz Feldman. It's me, Jessi Klein.
See you, Jessi Klein.
I know we have a lot to talk about today.
So very much.
I need your help.
Okay.
And then we'll segue from this into our real topic.
I obviously am here to help you, and I have a feeling that it's going to involve some sort of garment. Or something
garment,
that's going to go on your body that you're going to ask about.
I do ask for a lot of help with garments, accessories. Okay. I was with some friends.
Okay.
Brag. And we were eating somewhere, and we were right next to a Warby Parker.
Okay. For those of you who are listening and not watching, she does have a glasses case in her hand.
Okay. So, you know, Warby, what's nice is it's not going to break the bank.
It's not going to break the bank. You're going to pay $99 to $109.
Less, actually.
Oh, shit.
Liz, please.
Jessi.
Language. So, anyway, so I was like loopy from brunch. I walk into the Warby. Okay, so then I see these glasses and I try them on, and as there usually is, there's like a team of people at Warby.
Oh, they hive around you.
They hive around.
Oh, yeah.
They're hiving around the beehive.
Uh-huh.
I am the bee. And truly the level of compliments being showered, it's like it's snowing compliments.
It's like they're working on commission.
It's almost as if they're going to make money if I buy the glasses.
Cool.
But in the moment, even though I know that, it's not what I'm feeling. Do you understand what I'm saying?
You feel
I'm
feeling amazing in these glasses.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Let's see them.
So then I just want to say I brought them home and I showed them to Asher, my 9-year-old son.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, you look like a character from, I think he said Minecraft.
Okay.
Where he's like, and I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Is that a compliment?
Well, they have a rectangle head, so I don't think so. Okay.
Okay.
Will you guys close your eyes?
Yep.
Just let me get them arranged. Because once he said that, I was like, I don't know that. Okay.
They're great.
I don't know.
You don't look like a character from Minecraft. I don't know any characters
I was trying
from Minecraft.
to do, like, you know how every woman in Argo looked kind of gorgeous?
Yeah.
With their glasses?
Because it was like...
Because we're in the 70s and we're in Iran.
Yeah.
I thought they looked really cool, and then as soon as Asher said that, I looked in the mirror and I was like, what am I doing?
Okay, first of all, how many times do we have to talk about not taking fashion advice from a 9-year-old boy?
Who only wears Gap t-shirts and Gap shorts?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Love him.
Yeah.
Probably a genius. Not who you should be taking your...
Great at sports.
No, great. So he
No,
might listen
also
to this
genius.
one day. He might listen to this one day. Okay. I think they're great, actually.
Okay.
I think they suit your face shape.
Thomas?
I love him.
Okay, Thomas is like, literally just had to summon all of his strength to fucking spit that out. Jessi, I love them. Also works on commission. Okay. I mean.
No, they're keepers.
Well, thank you. I got really nervous about them. By the way, they were $80.
$80, great.
$80.
Great.
And then I showed them to Mike and he was like, not free. He said,
your
not
ex-husband.
My ex-husband. Yeah, these are the people I go to for
Why are
advice.
you going to your ex-husband and your 9-year-old son for fashion advice?
I don't know. They're the people around. And he was like, not for every day.
Wow.
I don't know.
Well, guess what?
Okay. But
He's
does it
not
look
your
like I'm
husband.
trying to come close to something that I'm not quite hitting?
No, not
Okay.
at all. They don't feel like try-hard glasses, if that's what you're trying to say.
That's what I'm saying.
No, they don't. They're not. You're not
That's
like.
exactly
it's
what
not a
I'm
reach.
saying.
It's not a reach.
You serious? If for those listening right now, I just did a little Mrs. Doubtfire move with the glasses. Are you serious?
Yeah, it's not a reach. I know what you mean. There are some people who like they'll buy glasses and you're like, well, somebody's trying to make a statement.
Yeah. What do I run Deutsch Gallery
Yeah,
in New York?
exactly.
Do I live in Bushwick?
That's right.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yes. Like,
Do I do
you
those?
drive like an old Volvo?
Do I drive an old Volvo?
Yeah. No, you don't drive an old Volvo.
I do? I don't know. Okay. All right.
They're good.
Okay. Well, this is what. So thank you for saying
Of
that.
course.
And I'm sorry to have had to bring it into the pod, but we haven't really talked about sort of one of the founding issues of the pod.
That's true. And here's to say, Jessi and I have talked about this
Off
off mic. But it is sort of one of the things that inspired us doing
to
this
do
thing.
this pod.
Yeah.
So one of my oldest and dearest friends, I call her my best friend. She's very beloved. I think she's got a few. Okay. And I have other people who, we're going to get into this. Anyway, my friend Kate moved away a few months ago.
That's tough.
And she was one of my best friends since college. She lived like 4 minutes away. So normally with a Warby issue, she would just literally I'd be like, I got to show you these glasses. And she'd hop in the car and drive on over.
Not even a FaceTime.
Not even a face. No, that's the kind of friend she is.
Damn, Kate.
We're taking you can't gauge a colorway.
You're right.
Over digital.
You're right.
You need to know.
You need to be in
you wouldn't be able to pick up the subtle tortoise that's happening in those glasses. But anyway, so it has really changed the flow of my life out here.
I totally get it.
And I'm very happy for her, but a little mad.
Yeah.
And we worked it out. And I know that you are sort of dealing with similar.
Just last night, as if perfectly timed for this pod, as if she knew.
As if she knew.
Dear friend tells me she's moving to Northern California. And now, let's be fair, she was displaced by the fires. And I now have two really dear friends who have been displaced, one by the Altadena fire, one by the Palisades fire. And one of them is moving to New York and one of them is moving to Northern California. And you can't argue or
that's
be
not
mad
an argument.
That an act of God made them feel like they needed to flee Los Angeles.
I mean, you could argue, but it feels like you'd be putting a lot on someone who's already dealing with quite a bit.
Yeah, it feels selfish.
Yeah, selfish.
It feels selfish.
It'd be centering yourself.
But inside of myself, where I can be selfish.
Furious.
So upset.
Steamed.
So upset because then I also have a third friend who is going to Europe for the year. Now, she may be back. She may not.
Well, that's what scares me the most is the question mark on the return.
I know. There's a lot of question marks on a lot of those returns. And it's just sad because the thing about living in Los Angeles is that it's a transient place. People leave.
People do leave.
You're going to leave me one day.
I mean,
You want to?
I want to. But while I'm here, I love you so much.
I love you
so
so
glad
much.
I have you.
Please don't leave.
But also, you don't leave.
No,
but you're not. But
I'm
I know
probably
you're
not
going to
leave.
I will say though, she left in October, but I sort of knew, she told me in March that she was leaving. So then there was a whole dread-filled year because she's really my main
squeeze
here.
Yeah.
And also happened to be single, and so and I'm single, so we would go to things like Wing. I hate to say Wing Woman, but there we are. You know what? Maybe when I have those glasses on, it sounds better. But any hoobles. So I was just I'm trying to emotionally prepare for about a year for this absence in my life, and it did make me sort of start to. I want to say I really have become someone who's my vacancy light is on.
Yeah.
And I'm walking around very open and kind of who are the people in your neighborhood person,
suddenly very friendly with everyone.
Very friendly in a way that this native New Yorker who's used to
looking
head down just what? No, don't talk to me. And now I'm hi. How's your day? Hello, I'm Jessi. We see each other every day. That nonsense.
Are you talking to the guy with the penis sock at the reservoir?
Okay. I have not made friends with him, but maybe when he hears this podcast, he'll reach out in a threatening way.
He'll come knock on your door with his penis.
No. Anyways, it's changed a little bit
Yeah, that's interesting.
energy. I bumped into an old acquaintance on a walk the other day, not penis sock guy, someone who I always liked. And as we're chatting, I was just kind of so what you do? I was should we exchange numbers? We did, and then we hung out.
And how was it?
Really nice.
So that's great. Look at
Yeah,
you adjusting.
I'm trying to adjust.
You're adjusting.
That I don't want to name the name of the place because I don't. I'm very worried about being swarmed. But we know I have a unhealthy attachment to a restaurant that I live near, where I've become friendly with the people who own it and work there, and I know their names.
Yeah.
And then
you say their names to me like I should know who they are, which is funny sometimes.
Well,
you'll be like, you know. I'll just make up the name. You know Jacques.
Bart.
You know Jacques Bart.
Jacques Bart.
And I'm like, I do not know Jacques Bart. She's like, he's
Bart.
the tall one. I'm like, mm-hmm.
So like he invited me to a he's a musician and he's going to be doing like a set somewhere. And I've known him for years now and he's so nice. And he was like, bring whoever. Like, it's not like he has a girlfriend, whatever. But like, it's just, and I'm going to go.
Yes, you're going to go. This is what
I'm trying to make friends.
To make friends.
This is what I'm trying to do to make friends.
I support it.
Okay.
I admire it.
Thank you.
I should take inspiration from it. I probably won't.
You're doing this podcast.
No, I'm doing this podcast. No, it's hard. It's hard to like put yourself out there with
I'm
people.
doing it.
You are doing it. You're very good at it.
I don't know that I'm very good at it.
Yes, just take it. You are.
But I think I think it is also partially to do with something with getting older. I think it's just also, as we've talked about before, like having my child, like I've sort of developed a muscle where there's like not a single fuck left to give about like asking someone.
I think it's great
to hang out
because you don't have anything to lose. Nobody really has anything
dignity,
to lose.
Respect,
right.
Self-respect.
But that's all kind of
endless rejection.
Your own
lots to lose, actually.
Mental gobbledygook. You know,
gobbledygook.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, that's all bullshit stuff. Really, it's not real stuff. It's just like our little weird conversations with ourselves in our heads about how we should feel about ourselves, which is completely made up and unhealthy usually.
True.
Talking about myself.
Asking for myself.
Asking for myself.
Are you experiencing a similar shift in preparation for these moves?
I mean, I think what I'm more experiencing is I'm like doing a bit of self-reflection about how I make myself available to people.
Say more.
I guess what I mean is like, you know, I'm on this journey as a newish mom, making friends with like, you know, my daughter's friends' parents. And I think like I have a tendency to maybe cut people off mentally at the pass. Mm-hmm. You know, like come up with a reason why I don't want to get close to somebody as a form of self-protection, if that
Do we
makes
feel
any
of that as the New York City DNA? Where
1,000%.
You're just like, everyone's trying to kill me.
out to get me.
Yeah, everyone's out to get me. So you're thinking about like,
I've just been thinking a lot about my friendships.
Openness.
Yeah, and I've been thinking about openness because I am realizing that the longer I live in Los Angeles, the more open I have to be because people are going to leave and there are going to be those vacancies. And there, sometimes people do present themselves to you.
Sometimes people present themselves or you find a little gem. Oh, someone seems to have a cough. Get this woman a glass of water.
Where's the Ricola?
Presenting them.
Well, I think we've gotten to the point where I think it's fair to say that we've primed the pump.
Yeah, that's
to
right.
Introduce a very special guest.
Very special guest.
Who we both. I'm gonna blow the wad now.
Okay.
We both want to be friends with.
Deeply. Today's friend is an actress, writer, and producer who dazzled audiences with her portrayal of Trudy Campbell on Mad Men and Annie Edison on Community. She was nominated for a Golden Globe, heard of it, and SAG Award,
heard of it,
for her starring role as Ruth on Glow. She's also appeared in films like Somebody I Used to Know, Spin Me Round, and Promising Young Woman, in which she was brilliant.
Brilliant.
And will next be seen in the movies Together and Masters of the Universe. Alison Brie, you're here to make friends with us.
Yes, I am.
Hi.
I woke up this morning and I was like, why am I in such a good mood? And then I remembered it's freaking Allie Brie Day.
OMG.
OMFG.
First of all, I just want to say this is a really relaxing way to start as a guest on a podcast by just getting to watch you two gab for 30 to 45 minutes.
Wow.
It's long.
It might not have been that long. It just felt
long.
that long.
It felt long.
Okay, now the
In
friendship
a
feels
good way.
Okay, we're
I
starting
thought
off-
it was gonna. You're like,
I like to dip and then bring it back
Okay.
around.
I feel like I'm on a ride.
I'm on a ride. We're already in a mind
I
game
like to
dynamic.
feel like you feel like you're getting attacked, but then comforted,
But then
and
hugged.
Yeah, you are a master
supported
of the universe.
and wanted.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a mind game, but
Whoa.
ultimately I'm reeling you back in.
I'm so on the hook.
You are so going to play a cult leader very soon.
Thank Thank you.
Yeah, that
I would
was-
like to do that.
Yeah, that was Manson level brilliant. What just happened?
I love listening to you two talk. I love the podcast. I'm a big fan of you both.
Come on.
Good.
Do you think that I as a guest am like the person that you know the least that's been on the pod?
I think that is fair.
like
I'm going through.
thus validating the reason for the pod for the first time.
I think so.
Wow, I think so. I mean, I will say, like, I
think so.
I think you're right. Yes, I do think you're the
Because
so.
we've spent time together.
We
Yes.
have.
But and it's only made me want to be friends more.
Literally,
Hard, same.
The very first thing
Yeah.
that we were going to say is that we have both. Here, I'll just read it directly. We have both had tantalizing hangs with you that left us wanting more.
Yes. And
Tantalizing.
Do you remember when we hung out at Molly
Shannon's house.
she
birthday
was
party?
just telling me about that.
We both have our. I don't want to say we were competing.
No, we weren't competing,
But
but we
it
were
did-
comparing.
Comparing with a
competitive
aftertaste of
edge.
competitive edge, because. Well, do you want to start? You have a story where you had a sort of spontaneous hang, and I have a
But
story about
chronologically, that came after.
your hang.
Yeah.
we
Yes.
had the first hang.
Yes.
You had the first hang.
Well, I'll just quickly
Yeah,
say,
do it, girl.
Yes.
because do it, girl.
Hey, girlfriends.
I mean, guys,
Get it, girl.
Who brought stuffed animals?
You've
Get
had
the
4 cups
hairspray.
of coffee today.
I'm out of my mind.
That might have been me.
There was a party at Molly Shannon's house, Bragg,
Yeah.
and I went alone. I was like, I'm
Me
just gonna
too.
Guys, see,
show
this is
up.
I like this about you. I
And-
like going alone to a
Well,
party.
I'm not
That's
going to pretend like I
ballsy.
wasn't nervous and scared.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
you did
me
it.
too, probably. A little bit nervous. Although, something about this party that was excellent.
It was a great party.
It was all women. Molly was like, I'm having
That's
a girls'
very
night,
cool.
Right.
birthday party, taco party.
Yes, it was,
So it was
all
all
girls.
girls.
That would make me feel
with
better.
like but also with a beautiful, like I'm like taco night, but then it was like a beautifully catered taco
and
buffet
and
a string quartet.
an orchestra. Yeah,
Molly Shannon's not
Orchestra's
having
a little
quartet.
I think there was. It might have even been a trio. It might
And
have
we've
been a
already
trio.
just found something out about me, which is I tried to one up. I was like, it's an orchestra, and then as soon as I said it, I was like, no, she had it right.
Just
It's
one
a quartet.
guy
So
with a
the LA
guitar. No, there were
Philharmonic
three. I think there
played-
was
An
a
orchestra
trio.
is when there's like 20 people. Never mind. Anyway, the point
It
is,
felt like an orchestra.
felt-
the impact.
it felt classy. Is what I'm trying to say.
Once we got there, we like popped a squat in the living room
Well, that's what I
with
was
our
told.
tacos.
This is why I wanted to, like, I was so excited that you were going to do this because I was nervous going, but I'm like, I think I know enough people there. I'll figure it out, but still a little nervous.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But then, and then I have to say, like, you know, I've met you around and about here
Yeah.
and there, and I've always been, obviously, I am a fan, but then
Likewise.
also I've always been. Like, just like you have such a warm, nice energy, but I'm still a bit intimidated because I am.
Yeah.
But then,
yeah.
Yeah.
you're like,
Yeah, I
yeah,
know.
and
Yeah.
you should be and behave. But then, so then there's that moment at a party where you're mingling. It's like drinks. Like that's we
Yeah.
can do that part.
Yeah.
But then there's the moment when you've got plate in hand.
And then you got to
That's
anchor.
a vulnerable
Plate-
moment.
vulnerable-
Drinks. You're looking around going, I know
Ugh.
everyone at this party.
know
This is so fun
ev-
and easy.
Now you gotta eat.
Now you're
peasy.
holding food going, who am I going to shove this food in my mouth
High
in
school
front
cafeteria vibes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Where am I going to sit?
Where am
Little
I gonna
groups are already forming.
Groups are forming. You're looking for that table you
I'm
can
getting
stand
nervous
at.
I'm getting
honestly
nervous just
talking
hearing
about
about
But
it.
Yeah.
so then,
Now I'm glad I wasn't invited to this party.
No, it was a great party.
no, you should feel bad you weren't.
Yeah, no,
But
I
then
do. I will. I will go to
I
sleep thinking about
see-
it. Don't worry.
I see warm, lovely Allie Brie, and I'm like, and she kind of waves over.
I said, don't sit with. Oh, she's already walking over here.
Yeah, I know. There's the mind game again. There's the cult leader. The long story already long is that, like, you were like, let's sit. Like, we sat on the floor with our tacos, but it was just like, oh, like when you kind of feel like, okay, like a couple of people are like, I'm taking a chance on this group.
Yeah.
And I'm committing and I'm sitting.
Yes.
And we're eating together.
We're not looking around. Is there anyone I'd
Is
rather
there
be
anyone
sitting with?
better? Now, look, Jennifer
We're
Coolidge was
committing.
also there. And clearly, you know,
Any one of you would have left her for a heartbeat.
Any one of us would have run away. But so glad we ended up where we did. And I just
Yes.
had such a nice time chatting with you.
Me too. I was gonna say what was nice about it was that it was not small talky. Like it
No.
was like we popped a squat and then we were like into it about people's relationships.
Show me your
or-
colonoscopy pictures.
Definitely, it was like, and when a relationship goes south, how do we feel about? Like I don't know,
Yeah.
and maybe there was some work gossip between people, which is always fun.
Oh, yeah, we did have some good work gossip, I feel
But about
like.
people I didn't know, which is like also my favorite kind of gossip. About they
best.
did what?
Yes.
Mark M did what?
Mark M.
Oh my god!
Jake
I
P.
hate that. I'm like, he's a dick.
yeah. No,
Just
there
going
was,
really hard.
yeah, we all kind of went.
It was a lovely time.
It was like Billie Eilish hit me hard and soft. Like we
Aw.
did a little of both. Anyway,
Laughing,
and I was just
gabbing.
walked away being like, she's such a great gal. I would love to be friends with her. And I
Well,
feel like
fuck.
Liz.
Same.
Look
Wait,
at us.
And then before we fully pivot to Liz, then we did at Christy's wedding, which is obviously where we
Absolutely,
had
that's
our
where we're
dress.
Yes,
going.
Christy's wedding is about to loom very
Um,
large
But first, you and I sat next to each other
on the bus.
on the bus, and
And-
I felt like that was also a defining moment.
I heard about
I'm
that
so
too.
glad
just
you
so
brought
know.
this up because yes, we sat next to each other on the bus, and similar to
It sounds like
my
school. Also, we sat
So
next to each other on the bus,
and I think
ever
she
since-
wants to go over. But in my usual like, do I look okay? Because I don't really know how to be a woman or do anything. I was having like some bracelet issues.
Yes.
And you got in there. You gave me an opinion, and you also then worked a clasp.
definitely.
Like
Oh,
you
you're
were
in
like,
it
I think
forever.
this one should be on this
Well,
side.
this was another scenario.
And I was
we
like,
were
I
both
love
at the
this
wedding by
woman.
ourselves.
Were we?
I was. Were you?
Yes. no. I was
You
trying.
really
I
left
was
me
trying to
hanging
remember.
there for a minute.
No. Yes.
I was. Dave was out of town.
Yes.
And I was there by myself, which is, it's funny how that can be an intimidating situation, even for a person. I am a very social person and very comfortable. And I know everybody at that wedding, like
Everybody.
90% of
Yes.
the people. So I was like, oh, this is such a safe group with all my friends. And still you're
Still.
like, here I am solo for this big romantic
Very
event. Like you
romantic.
are. It sucks to feel, because I don't want to be glommy. So then I get nervous. Like I'm like, I got to bounce around, but I don't want any of these people to feel like, ugh, Allie's here by herself. I guess
I'm
she's
gonna
just
hold Jessi's
gonna
hand.
We're
glom
holding
it
hands.
Yeah, we're
on.
The
holding hands.
fear of being glommy.
Glommy.
That is, you
Nightmare.
just fucking nailed it. It's like, I want to be able to read the fucking room
Yes.
and know, like, at some point, is this person like, give me a fucking break?
Or like a couple. I love this couple. They're so sweet. Oh,
No.
I'm sensing maybe they want to mingle with other
Yeah.
people that they
If
know.
I may, neither one of you has the capacity to be glommy.
I can be glommy.
No, you absolutely cannot.
I can.
Because
I
your
could
presence
be
is
glommy.
welcome.
You can never be glommy.
You would never be glommy.
never be glommy.
First of all, you guys can glom on me any fucking day of the week.
first draft
Glom
of the,
away.
Take
Invitation
on me.
to glom.
Glom
Full
on
invitation to
me.
glom.
Glom on me.
Glom me.
Oh, you're right.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, guys,
We'll do it one more time at the end. We'll do it
yeah,
one more time
at the end. One more time at the end.
But anyway, thank you
I
for
want to give
saying.
you guys mutual permission to glom, because isn't it fun now that we've all agreed about the glom?
yeah.
We'll never
If
worry
we
about
run
glom.
into each other
We
at
have full-
some big event,
Yes.
now you guys are the safe harbors, which is always fun. You're at some big
Oh, God.
event, and then you turn and go, oh, you're here, thank God. And then you have a
Yes.
mutual glom person. You're like, should we go to the bar? Should we go
And-
over there? Should we people watch?
The words mutual glom
Mutual
and safe
glom.
harbor are both like literally making me feel like I just took like a Xanax. I feel so calm.
Well, LA
thinking
is
about
the
it.
one place in the world where you need a mutual glom.
You need
kind of
a
at all
mutual
times.
glom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because like you could be on the street, you could be at a meeting, you could be in a restaurant. There's always an opportunity for a mutual glom.
There's always an
Yeah.
opportunity
Yeah.
for a mutual glom, and I will also say that LA is. I will meet you, what you just
You
said,
said.
and then on top of it, we'll add. I also think LA very specifically is a city where there is like more of a like sort of intense. I feel like distaste that people have for seeing anybody alone. It feels just because
Oh,
there's
like
so
you're
much,
making other people uncomfortable by
By
being
being
alone.
alone.
I just think there's so much judgment. there's so much like judgment and like in a world where, again, I think it's a city where people are always looking around the room.
Yeah.
Who could I be talking? Like, just everyone's like, who's that? Why are they alone?
Yeah.
In a way that I don't think totally exists as much in other places.
Or is it like the way you're talking about when you're alone? I think, oh, do these people that I'm talking to think that I want something from them?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm alone at the party, like mingling now with people, but I'm more just like, no, I'm just here by myself because we know each other, so we should talk. I'm not like, hey, what are you working on?
Yeah. Oh, God.
What are you working on? You have to tell your story.
Okay, so at this wedding,
Yes.
which I just want to say was such an interesting social experience in general because we all did know so many people.
Yes.
It's
Great
our
group.
It's our manager Christy's wedding. We all have the same
It was
manager.
one of the best nights
Fantastic
of my
night.
life.
Best
what a
nights of
great
my life.
wedding. Was
That's
it not
such a
an
great
amazing wedding?
The best
Such
wedding.
a great wedding, except I had to give a speech.
Oh, that's right. You gave a
And
great speech.
that's very
Liz
kind.
gave such a good speech.
You're very nice, and I appreciate that. But the thought of having to give that speech, like
it's your work in the wedding. It's a
talking
work
about, I'm
event.
working the wedding. It's the
Yeah.
anticipation leading up to it, and
You
also
can't relax until the speech is
No,
done.
no, and I have loved to ply myself with drinks. Yes,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah,
couldn't
you have to be
because
watching how much you're drinking.
had to keep it tight. Had to keep
High
it
and
tight.
tight.
So I'm getting ready for the wedding,
Yeah.
and I'm already in like a pretty like anxious state because I know I also just want to deliver. Like I want
Of
to
course.
deliver to this person who I love so much, and I feel so honored.
And the room.
I mean,
This is a room full
This is
of
a room.
very funny,
Yeah,
very funny. Half of
amazing
Hollywood
people.
is there.
And,
Let's be honest.
and
Hollywood's
half
there.
of them are comedy writers.
Comedy writers.
Yes,
But
exactly.
also, you are
You
Also
are
one
a
of
preeminent,
successful ones.
Yes,
You're very nice.
Preeminent.
That's very nice. It doesn't. None of that. I appreciate that. That's a little grandiose, but
Grandiose.
It is. It's exaggerated. But
or just true.
here's the thing.
It's the truth.
Maybe
you
it's
know
just
how
the
you
truth.
feel about yourself inside yourself.
Yeah,
In the quiet
like,
of.
great. Wait, what did you mean?
Yeah, what were you gonna say? There's the call leader again.
What I mean is.
Everyone
Wow.
is under her thumb.
I am mind fucked. I was just feeling anxious. I wanted to do a good job,
Yeah.
and there was a lot of pressure on me. I felt mostly from me, and I'm getting ready to, I'm getting dressed, and I got this suit, like especially kind of,
I saw it. It was
tailored.
really nice.
Thank
It
you
was
so
great.
much. really
I also
appreciate
saw it.
guys. You didn't see the whole.
Well, because
hey
we're
guys,
all friends now.
you didn't see the whole thing.
I did.
What?
So I'm getting ready for the wedding, and I'm like, I have my little wardrobe bag, and I'm putting my shirt on, my pants, and the jacket is not there.
And you're there, like
And
you're
I'm
already
there.
out. Oh,
I'm
no.
like, it is a destination wedding. I am
Yeah.
at the destination.
Oh, my
I
God.
do not have my jacket. And it's like a fancy wedding. And I was like, I just felt insane. I had a full panic attack.
Yeah, understandable.
Full
Understandable.
panic attack. Like, oh my God, I don't have a jacket. I'm just going to be wearing a shirt. And I'm like the lesbian wearing like a shirt at a wedding. And nobody wants to be that lesbian. And, like I felt really good about the
Don't be that
suit.
lesbian.
No, hashtag don't be that
Don't be
lesbian.
hashtag don't be
This is where you needed the ravioli moment for someone, like a
Exactly.
good friend, but
Yes.
everyone you knew was already at the wedding.
Exactly. So my poor wife is just trying to calm me down, saying, your shirt is good. Your shirt looks great. Don't worry. Like, lying. And so I'm like, fuck it. And I had to go to the wedding without the suit jacket. I give the speech.
It
Which
goes great.
killed.
Killed.
Crushed.
Great, guys, really appreciate
Crushed.
it. Felt like an insane person up until that moment. So after that moment, I was like ready to go.
Yes.
And I was ready to have fun.
Yes.
And I was ready
What's
to...
that voice?
I was ready to have
A
a
party girl.
So that's my party voice, now you know. And long story,
Anybody want to party?
long story,
There's a lot of teeth in the voice.
I have a lot of teeth. It's the only way I can talk, you guys.
Teeth in the voice. So upsetting.
You know Liz. She's got a very
Defining
toothy voice.
Quality of the voice is toothy. That's
Yes.
the most defining quality.
Thank you so much. Guys, I never had braces. Anyway, I was just ready to go.
You were ready to
the
party.
party was over, and I was
Yeah.
like not quite ready to
This
call
is
it a
actually
night.
all making sense
Okay,
now.
thank you. I wanted because I want to
because-
apologize to you.
No, please don't.
You know why I'm going to.
What I would like to say that's funny is like that we had sort of opposite trajectories.
Oh, interesting.
Because I don't want to say I peaked early. I would say I peaked
like
several times. you know, what you were not privy to, I guess, because you were like in preparing for speech mental mode.
Yeah.
Is that I had brought a bag of drugs to the wedding.
What's known in the biz as a pregnant pause?
And
What's a euphemism for drugs?
so I was sort of like passing out these little chocolates and gummies like the drug fairy, enhancing everybody's experience.
I mean,
at
cult
the
leader.
wedding.
This is going in the
now
cult leader
it's starting
column.
to actually get a little creepy.
I was very proud of this and the fact that I had, but I'm like a responsible person. And when I was buying these drugs for myself, for my own social anxiety for the wedding.
Right, and these are
I
illegal
thought-
drugs.
Yeah, in certain states, they
Let's say
are
in
legal.
this one, in California.
In California.
In California, here we are. You know what I mean?
Yeah. California, here we come.
Yeah.
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 California, here we come.
California. Okay, go on.
It has to end.
Isn't there one more? Oh, go on. I'm so sorry.
There were several. You were right, and I was wrong.
No.
Hey, guys,
that's the
everybody's
mind
right
game
here.
again.
Let's get back to the drugs.
So you had being a drug
So-
fair. What you're saying is you're being a great party guest.
Yes.
Thank you.
Exactly.
And yes.
Yes.
Because I was like, let me get enough for several people. I'm going to have some before I even go. I'm going to have one 2 hours before the wedding
Nice.
starts.
Of course.
Very well played.
But I'm also not just going to bring enough for others, but I'm going to carefully dose them out pre-party so that when someone comes up to me and says, hey, here you have a little of this, I just hand them the perfect dose and tell them, don't even worry about it. You're not standing with someone going, should I have a half?
how much?
Wow.
You're
Should
like,
I take half of this and then
done.
later take half of this? I say, this is the amount you're going to eat. Mwah.
Mwah.
Have a great time.
What a friend.
And then I would look across the party. I would look across the dance floor and someone would just give me like a like a mouth thank you. And it was the most gratifying feeling. And because I had also partaken in the
Right.
drugs, I was
Yes.
having a great time and
Yes.
dancing, and I love a wedding.
love a wedding.
And I actually felt like the vibe at that wedding was so nice because it's everyone's adults. Like everyone's
Yeah.
like, it was like a group of successful adults who are comfortable with themselves.
Yeah.
So everyone's having a
Well, also
great
'cause they're on so
goofy
many
time.
drugs.
So
If they're on the drugs, which that's the point of
you
these
could back
drugs.
it up and say this is a group of, despite their success, deeply insecure adults who Allison
Who,
has
when
given
given a
drugs
small
to,
dose
and
of
so now they're
mushrooms,
very comfortable
then they
and
get
having
more
a great time.
comfortable.
I gotta be
Okay.
honest, Jesse's version is more accurate.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But go on.
Well, we all had a great time,
Yes,
I
we
think,
did.
is
We
the
did.
truth.
And then
So we get back to the hotel, and there's been discussion on the bus. Do we want the night to end? Who's ready for the night to end, and who's not ready for the night
Right.
to end? And a funny thing about what happened was
Someone ready
I
to
would
party?
say that I was firmly on the fence of not even actually sure if the night should continue. Okay, so several people were sort of saying, we're going to go down to the beach.
Well, because you've also been on drugs now for 8 hours.
So
I've
long.
been on drugs for several hours and probably
Pre-party.
the night before.
Yeah.
Just like we're talking hour 28.
Yeah, but you pre-gamed and then the wedding is long.
Yes,
What party,
of
you know?
gentle
Yes.
microdose-esque
Okay.
yeah.
situations. Anyway, we get back, there's talk of like, oh, the bar at the hotel's closed. Some of us are going to go down to the beach. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, am I even up for doing this? I'm not sure. So we realize as we're walking back to our rooms that we're neighbors.
Yes, we are. We are.
always a
we
fun
are
Liz
moment.
is in the room next to
That's
me.
right.
A
we're in
hotel
this-
neighbor at a
Yep,
wedding.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
sharing
a
a
really
wall.
fun moment where then I question every noise I've made for the last 24 hours, being like, oh, this person was in the room next to me.
Why did I eat
Was
beans
what?
only?
Yeah. And I say to you, I don't know if I'm ready to come. I'm not sure if I'm going to go down to the beach with everybody. But since we're neighbors, why don't you just give me a knock on the door when you guys are going down? And if I open the door, it's like I'm going to come down. And otherwise, maybe I'm too tired. I'm not even going to go. I just don't
What
even
a cool
know.
system you set up.
Pretty cool knock system, right?
Yeah, knock.
Like,
and
you'll
if I
just
answer,
know.
I'm ready.
If I answer, it's on.
It's on.
This feels like in a rom-com or like some.
Yes.
It feels vaguely weirdly
Sock on knob.
romantic.
You know the show The Affair, how it shows like two different
Yes.
versions of the same event?
Yes.
I have a very different version of this
You
event in
do?
my mind. Well, because I didn't know your inner workings. I didn't know that
But I
you
feel
would.
like I said that aloud.
Huh. That's weird.
Did you break down Alison Brie's door?
I think I said to you, knock when you're ready to go, and if I come out, I'm ready to join, but I might skip it.
And then in your version of events, what
so
happened
clear,
next?
Allison.
And then in my version of events, to ease your mind, in my version of events, I closed the door. I said, you know what? This is like, how often do we have these nights, these days where people are up wanting to have fun and be mischievous? And I was like, I'm going to change into jeans. I think I am going to go down just for a little while. Mm-hmm. The knock comes to my door, and the new message is, hey, we can't go down to the beach. The beach is closed and it's illegal. So we want to hang out in somebody's room, but my wife is asleep. All of our wives are asleep. Can we hang out in here on your balcony? Mm-hmm. To which I said, definitely. That's like, exactly where I thought this night would go.
Sounds like the party is on.
Well, here's the thing. So
and it sounds like you forced it to be in someone else's room.
The truth. Here's the truth. We were in the room right next to her. You know, would have normally had everybody on my balcony, happy to do it. But I wanted to stay married.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird thing that I do sometimes. I make choices that are good for my relationship.
See each his own. You know.
Then I guess what I did was, according to Nick Kroll, I became a very bossy little elf. I think he called me.
I do think he said bossy little elf.
I think he said a bossy little elf. At first I was like, that
inaccurate.
It feels a little sexist, but accurate.
And that's so Nick.
Yeah. I always say about Nick.
Classic Nick.
Sexist,
so
but
accurate. So accurate.
Yeah, I don't think you deny it.
He is a misogynistic truth teller.
Yes.
But yes, I think I strong-armed an entire party onto
We're going to come in here. We're going to invite several other people in here. I'm a pretty tidy person. There's not going to be like dirty underwear on the floor. I was going to ask,
what was the state of your room?
I remember it being perfect.
Tidy.
Well, also we were there. This was a 2-night staycation vibe, destination wedding. So I am a tidy person. I am not Tasmanian deviling my dirty underwear around.
Because I sometimes have like a one-night
crotch up on the floor. No,
I'm a tornado.
Make a neat little dirty clothes pile.
No, I'm a tornado as soon as I check into a hotel room.
Okay, so you were okay. Well, none of that really
so
changes.
I was comfortable with it.
Liz
absolutely forced a party upon her. But here's the thing: you were so good-natured about it that I didn't even know how rude I was being.
It was not rude at all. I was open to it. If I hadn't been open to it, I would have said. It kind of made me excited to be like, oh my God.
It does make makes me pretty cool.
I'm the one hosting this little after hours.
Well, then how many people
So I guess you're welcome. I don't know.
Wow.
I feel like there was like 8 people.
Yeah, on the balcony. I was just a little nervous because we were on this tiny balcony that had a large sign that said no smoking on the balcony.
People on the balcony.
No people on the balcony.
And then you're like,
no smoking on the balcony, and I don't think I'm wrong in saying our main goal was smoking.
Yeah, yes. The primary purpose.
The main thing we planned on doing on the balcony.
On the balcony.
And at a point, you did say to me, because I must have mentioned it a few times, I'm a little nervous. There's a fine. There's a big fine if we get caught smoking on this balcony. And you said, if you get fined, I will pay the fine. And then I thought, smoke away.
Who's the cool one now?
I mean,
you are.
Thank you.
You are.
But I did have to draw the line after we had all been there for like an hour. And then you guys were like, oh, so-and-so's going to come down. And I was
I do remember
absolutely not. I just was like, guys, I'm not even shutting down the hang, but we can't have a new energy just arriving now. Like, that's crazy.
It's tough.
We're restarting the night.
Yeah.
You know? Like, the hour has been great.
Yeah, it has been great. So many laughs.
So fun. A lot of laughs. It really was fun.
Yeah.
A lot of like talking about rocks. Felt like it doesn't sound
what a great
cool.
part. It actually doesn't sound that fun when you talk about it.
We've never like hung out with people and talked about rocks.
No, please, it's my dream. I'm trying to get us there.
Sometimes you're looking out over a balcony that you're illegally smoking on, and you see rocks below, and you say, "Could I make the jump?"
Oh, right, we were talking about
it. Could I make the jump?
Or sometimes, like at night on a beach, you see like a rock far away, and you're like, "Is that a seal?" That's like a conversation.
Totally. Totally.
Yeah, Jessi.
Always.
Guess you had to be there.
If I had a nickel.
Did I just shit the bed?
Every time.
You never fucking saw a big rock and wondered whether it was a seal or not.
I feel that we should say, just for the audience, the 4 people who are still listening to this story, that Jessi was staying in for some reason in a different hotel. So
okay.
Where
Okay.
the
I
hell
was staying at
were
the
you?
hotel that Chrissy was staying at, which is.
Yeah.
I just made the assumption. Well, where the
in
bride
our faces.
where the bride is where the partay will be.
Yeah.
And I guess I wasn't wrong.
Yeah, notoriously, the bride and groom always want to party the latest at their own wedding. They definitely don't want to.
This is the same person who can't tell the difference between a living, breathing animal and a boulder. So I guess it tracks that I fucked up. No, this whole story, I am sitting here seething with jealousy. Seething.
Here's the thing.
But in truth, we know I would have gone to sleep.
You would have gone to sleep.
No, I'm Rachel. I would also
Yeah,
just
you would
gone
have
to sleep.
totally
Or I would
gone
have
to
come for
sleep.
10 minutes. I don't stay up that late.
No, it wasn't your.
Or you would have texted an hour into us being there and just gotten brutally rebuffed. Just no.
I would like to think that if I was there, you would have let me in. You would have accepted my energy.
1,000%.
Absolutely.
And I don't want to
Absolutely.
reveal whose energy got rejected from the party.
I don't remember.
I remember, and it's a person I like very much.
Just goes
to show
it was going to
that
set the clock back. It was
it
going to be
was
back
in a
to
way
one.
where I'm like,
It
we're
was gonna
all
be
in
back
a
to
vibe, and the vibe is. It has peaked, and now it's like maybe it's whittling down. I'm not ready for it to end yet.
Yes.
But I'm not ready to restart the party.
Yeah.
Now I'm doing mental math about how much sleep I'm gonna get.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying
a little
this
bit like I've been
soup
having
as it
so
is,
fun,
and now I'm
but
going to
we're
put
like,
chicken in it. No thanks.
Yeah. You know.
So here's the truth is I just wanted to publicly apologize for
For making you too cool.
Yeah,
like,
I'm
for
so
bringing
sorry.
the
Yeah,
party
this feels
and
like a
make
bit of
four-
a humble apology.
Yeah, this is a
Sorry.
braggy. This is a braggy
Sorry,
apology.
I
Sorry, me
created
and my
a fucking
cool
epic rock and roll
friends
night
wanted
for
to-
you. Sorry, I wanted to publicly apologize for the rock and roll night.
I accept your apology.
Thank you so
publicly.
much. Hey, publicly, I really appreciate it.
Yeah, put this out there. I want this to really get out there. Me accepting
Everyone's
this
been
apology.
waiting.
Everybody's been waiting.
Everyone's been waiting.
Oh
What
my
a
God.
night.
I didn't expect that one question to take 48 minutes.
Honestly,
Should we give more details about the 2 times that we've spoken to each other before today?
Can I tell you, all I can think about right now is I'm so clearly visualizing like the rock I thought was just, like at night.
I'm glad that's what you came back
at
to because
night.
I can tell
I
that the
haven't
listeners
listened
are
to a word you guys have been
clamoring
saying.
for more is a rock a seal content. Like that's
okay.
what the listeners want
when
and
it's-
deserve.
Well, you
When
would know
it's
because you're a
dark.
listener.
I know. So this is accurate.
First time, long time.
Hello.
All right, we have other
We
questions.
do really have
Ugh,
questions
but maybe
for
we
you.
don't-
Ask me.
Ella, you come off as a very grounded. I'm in my Frost Nixon vibe.
what happened?
You come off.
Did
as
you
a-
just call me Al, by the way?
She said Allie.
Allie.
Oh.
Do you want me to call you Al? You can call me
I
Al.
would.
You can call me
Al.
You can call me
Al.
I'm so dumb. Al, you come off as a very grounded, incredibly warm person.
Oh, great.
You're so easy to talk to.
It's so true.
But given
you.
your credits, you could reasonably be an asshole if you so chose. Do you credit the people?
Wait
in
a
your-
minute. I have to go.
Do you feel like no? But this is true. That now I'm being sincere.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we're
okay,
taking
okay.
it into sincere. That's
Okay,
the
great.
energy this late to the party gal is
Oh,
That's
bringing.
right. Sorry.
Sort of like cool seal energy. Sorry, but like, you are so nice. You are, and famously, like aside from us having now talked for 2 hours about how much we've always wanted to be friends with you and how beloved you are very beloved. You have like a warm energy, which I'm going to credit. I didn't know you're Jewish, half Jewish.
Jewish.
Very-
My mom's Jewish.
Your mom's Jewish. You're Jewish all the way.
Yeah, come on.
But like, you're a warm, lovely Jew.
You're like,
and
you're warm, and that's because you're Jewish.
And that's because you're Jewish.
Yeah,
but
I
like,
agree.
do you, in the world where this is a podcast about friendship, like how there are people who become as successful as you've become who change or don't stay as open or for whatever. So is there like a group of friends that you credit that you've stayed in touch with who help keep you this way? Or do you feel like, this is me, honey,
Born this way.
born this way?
Oh, so
Maybe,
hard. No, I definitely have an amazing group of friends. And I also think, I feel like I also have to say my family, even though I know this podcast is about
No,
friends.
it can also be your
I know
family.
it's about friends.
And sometimes you're friends with your family.
Fine.
You could say a sister is like a built-in best
Absolutely.
Best friend,
friend.
very
Yes.
much so.
I have an older sister. Also, to your point about everybody leaves Los Angeles, not I. I'm born and raised
Wowzers,
here.
that's right.
And I truly never want to leave. I feel like a big part of that is that my family's here. My
Yeah.
family is here. My
Yeah.
sister, my 3 nephews, my mom, my dad. Like, I feel like they're a grounding force.
Yeah.
And my friends. I feel like my husband and I, like, have the same friends, the same like adult friends that we've had for a very long time. And everybody's at different phases of, like, most of them are actors or people that work
Yeah.
in our industry, but everyone's sort of at different phases of that in their life, and everyone's careers sort of ebb and flow. And I just feel like we have no desire to seek out like famous friends or things like that.
Then what are you doing here?
Yeah.
Oh,
why?
I mean, except like obviously
Yes, right now.
unless I have a real connection. But no, I do think that like it's nice even having these friends in LA who I've had for 15 years. It's fun to see all the different phases of your life, like to go through that stuff together.
Yeah.
But I also, even as I'm saying this, I never feel like, I don't know, it almost feels like weirdly condescending to them or something to be like, oh, my friends keep me so grounded.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I also don't think
Thank
it was
God
a
I'm
very
still
nice.
rolling with those raccoons. Otherwise, where would I go?
The intro to this question was very flattering, but I don't think that's how I see myself anyway. I
Yeah.
just think I do have great friends and they're wonderful, and our lives just exist. Like, I know they love me and I love them aside from our how successful our careers are.
Yeah.
And that is a nice thing, of course. And I also feel like making new friends, like I do still feel like I'm making new friends from time to time, and those people, like, I don't know. Those are good people.
Did you meet Betty Gilpin on Glow?
Yes, I did. And
Because I've heard you describe her as your soulmate.
my soulmate.
Which is amazing.
Yes, she is. Absolutely. I feel like Glow.
I'm obsessed with her. She's so amazing.
Yes.
She is so amazing. I'm like, every time I talk about her, I feel like I'm going to burst into tears because I love her so much.
It's a sign of a
And I
soulmate.
feel like I'm
Yeah.
like also like a proud mom to her. Like everything she does, why do I take it like it's my, I'm like, I know, and I knew she'd be incredible at that because she's good at everything. Can I tell you some more things about her? It also reflects well on me.
But she is incredible. She's very talented.
Oh my God.
As are you.
She is the most talented actor I have ever worked with.
And you've
Also
worked with a
just,
lot of
like,
people.
Yeah.
I've worked with Meryl Streep.
You've
Whoa,
worked
take
with
that,
Meryl
Yeah.
fucking Streep.
But the cool thing about Glow was that it was created by Liz Flahive and Carly Mensch, these two amazing women.
Yeah, they're
who
also
incredible.
They
so
were
awesome.
best friends.
Yeah.
And had been writing together and playwrights in New York together and gone on a friend journey. And I'm sure that, and they knew Betty before they knew me because they had worked with Betty on Nurse Jackie. And part of me feels like part of the reason that I got the part was my chemistry with Betty. Betty and I had immediate, incredible chemistry.
It's such a magical
I know,
fucking
it's
feeling
amazing
when
when
that
that
happens.
To the point that even Betty rightly pointed out that, like, the first time we met, we were in Toronto testing for Glow by ourselves, no executives, no people working on the show, casting assistants from a random casting office in Toronto. Basically, Betty was shooting a show in Toronto, and they wanted us to have this screen test together, so they flew me to Toronto. But Genji wasn't there, Liz and Carly weren't there, our casting director wasn't there. They were
That's
sort of
so
like, we
weird.
found an empty casting office that's open on the weekends, and these two teenagers are going to put you guys on tape together. And we were like, great. So we arrived there. I met Betty and I was like, I have to pee. Do you want to come with me? And she was like, yeah.
Great
so we went
opener.
to the
Yeah,
bathroom.
really
In
opener.
the bathroom. And in the bathroom, these scenes that we were about to do involved one, like, devolved into this physical fight and wrestling. And so right away I was like, tell me what you're comfortable with, because I'm comfortable with everything and you can touch me or do whatever you want. And I think that we should, like, really go for it together. And she was like, yes. And so then we did this audition together again with this just, like, kids,
children
yes. filming us, and they have no notes and they have no idea even what this show is. Yeah. And it ends with Betty and I like headlocking each other, like sweating like for several minutes. No one's gonna call cut. Like we finally were like, I feel like probably we got it. And these blank stares are like, yeah, great. And then Betty and I went across the street and we got like a coffee at Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf or some shit.
Fucking bullshit.
And you gave her a perfectly dosed piece of chocolate.
I said, take this chocolate.
Always with the drugs.
Trust me.
Building the cult, soul by soul.
But Betty rightly identified later that at that coffee, it was both of us playing a game of don't let myself fall in love with this person. Aww. Because what if we don't get this job? Like, it was sort of like, all of this feels too good to be true.
Yeah.
I met this person. These sparks are flying.
Yeah.
We did this audition together, truly by ourselves. And now we're sitting here like everything we were seeing. It was like, also we were sort of at similar places in our lives. We both were right about to get married. And we both like, it was just sort of like, we would say something and the other one would be like, me too.
I am you are me.
Yes. And even then before we got the job and we did have to like test again together, I would text her, I was reading a book and in the book there was a reference to a song that was in the pilot episode of Glow. I was like, it's a sign. We're going to get the job. Like we were so in it together. Little did I know Betty also tested with like several other women, not me. I was like, like actually I found that out years later.
Everyone.
And it was like she cheated on me. It was like we were at dinner. We were at like a sexy sushi meal together. And we happened to sit down.
That still happened. I thought that was like over in the early aughts. Sexy
mean like
sushi.
Like sushi where they put the pieces on a naked person's body?
Oh yeah, I was naked and Betty was eating the sushi off of my body. We were in West Hollywood, obviously.
This is starting to sound like low fanfic.
It was like an episode of Sex and the City.
It was
like the Sex and the City movie.
I think that only ever happened in one episode of Sex and the City.
It's actually from the movie. Anyway, Betty and I fell hard in love, and I still love her very much.
I love this love for you.
This is beautiful.
This is a beautiful
love. We
love.
were just video messaging before I came.
We were talking earlier with each other.
With one another off mic.
About like our friends in life who remind us who we are.
Well, because I was saying, apropos of the glasses,
yes,
like part of what I miss about Kate, like she is, I mean, all of my friends do this for me in some way, but like if I spend too many days, sometimes even just hours alone, I start to like spin out and I'm like, who am I?
Totally.
I'm a piece of shit, fucking dummy with no value. And like, what am I doing on this earth? And then I go call a friend and like, perhaps Liz Feldman. And within like 2 minutes, I'm like, I am gorgeous. I'm a fucking rock star. And everybody loves me. And I remember like those nice things about myself. And Kate is someone who definitely like, the minute we talk, I'm like, oh yeah. I belong.
We all have.
Totally.
We have. If you're lucky, you have those friends who remind you who you are.
Yeah.
Yes.
And like for me, it's my best friend Sarah. It's Kelly. It's my old friends who knew me before I was
famous.
Before I was a fully realized version
Getting an
of
award
myself.
this weekend at our high school reunion. Getting an award this weekend at our high school reunion.
What award?
I'm getting
coolest alumni
this
award.
This is my mother. Have you ever met my mother, Jessie?
At your high school reunion? Coolest alumni?
Yes, that's the name
What are
of
the other awards? Does anyone else get an award?
I'm
no one else
winning
is
prettiest. I can tell you that much.
Who's getting best hair? Best
Feldman.
legs.
What a high school! It's finally time to give out the award for best legs.
And it's not
30 years after graduation.
It is my 30th high school reunion.
Oh my God.
I'm getting a distingished alumni award.
This is very exciting
for this little
It is
cutie right
this
here.
coming weekend.
To other reunions?
Thanks for asking. I have been to my 20th high school reunion.
How was
which
that?
I did talk about on another ep, which has not come out yet, so you wouldn't have known.
Well, don't repeat yourself.
No, I mean, I went to my 20th and I was able to bring my wife, and that meant a lot because I had been in the closet in high school. So it meant a lot to like be like, hey, this is who I am and who I've always been, but was afraid to be in 1995.
That's so nice.
And
are you still friends with people from high school?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in touch, I would say. Like, because I
Yeah.
live here and they all live back in New York.
Yeah.
And so I don't like get to see them often, but like I am in touch with them. And I think there's a lot of love there. I'm going to have dinner with 4 of my gal pals from high school
Fun.
on Saturday night.
Is your wife going to go to this one?
She's not. She's going to stay home with our.
The one where you're
little
getting an award?
Well, I now have a 2-year-old.
Oh,
And
right.
So
and you'll have an award. So that's sort of your date.
Yeah,
for the
that's
night.
my child. Yeah.
Thing you care
Your
most
child.
about.
I don't know that you need your 2-year-old anymore now that you have this
Just a
coolest
high school
alumni
Very good point. Very good
award.
point. I'll put that in the crib
Just
at
think
night.
about it.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Do you have
Anyway.
a specific friend who is that friend for you? Like the person where you're just like, talk to me for 2 minutes so I remember how great I am? Or
I think
you
this
seem
is
secure.
all my friends at this stage of life. Like I have cut out the friends that I could not
We've
say
trimmed
this
out
about.
the fat.
Yes, like I remember a person saying to me recently. Remember a person, an ex-friend of mine, after we had a huge fight, saying to me, "I'm not a person who cuts people out of my lives," and I was thinking, I am.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that sounds like a terrible thing, but I actually
don't
do
think so.
There's only so much room in your friend catalog.
Yeah.
And all the people should be people that you love, that love you, that make you feel this way.
Yes.
I mean, but like we talked so much about Betty. Betty certainly is this person.
Yeah.
Also, I feel that way about Aiden. Aiden Mayuri
Yes.
has
Oh.
become such just one of my closest friends. I
She's
saw
a
her.
dream. We
She's so
gotta get her
talented.
in here.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. I saw her on the weekend and we walked, and at the end of our walk, I said, every time I see you, it gives me life. Like it gives me so much energy.
Yes, life-
And she was
a
like,
life
I feel the
giver.
same. I just was like, it's such a nice feeling.
Yeah, she's that
To
kind
be
of
your
person.
truest self, and she's always going to be supportive, and yes, reflect only the best parts of you back to
Yeah,
yourself,
yeah,
which
yeah.
is so nice.
What a
And
gift.
like, I do feel like I'm not the type of person who is still friends with a bunch of people from high school or from when I was a kid. I actually think I'm like constantly in new phases of life and growing and changing, and maybe I have like personal shame about versions of myself that I used to be.
Interesting.
And there's been like natural shedding of like, well, I don't like that person
Drug
anymore.
dealer. Yeah.
No, I still like that. I still like that.
No,
person.
very
Very
active.
responsible.
Sure.
But or even just times in my life where I go like, I'm not like that anymore, and the people that are still like that aren't for me.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
Certain factors,
Yeah.
But I guess I would say also about like, I have these two friends, Serena and Jules, who are like my two best
It's
girlfriends.
like a great skincare company.
I know, honestly.
Serena and Jules.
Serena and Jules.
Didn't you recently get a shower curtain from them?
They make
I
great
did.
shower curtains.
I did. Serena and Lily.
They're-
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was something like
It
that.
has tassels
Serena
on it. It's so
and Lily.
stupid. Isn't that?
I don't know her.
I don't know
I don't
her.
know her.
I don't know. Anyway, Serena and Jules.
Serena and Jules I've known for 15 years. We met doing a web series. Ever heard of them?
Sorry.
It was a choose your own adventure. The audience got to type in, email in, web series. But I feel like they're sort of at this point my oldest like adult friends who were friends with me in my 20s when I was making a bunch of terrible decisions and have shed a lot of people that I knew at that time, but not these friends who even then we all were making bad decisions and seeing our truest
Yeah.
selves.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's such a fierce loyalty that I have with them and they with me. And I also feel like in that amount of time, there's also been a natural ebb and flow. Like when the friendship started, it was like, we're a trio and the three of us should always be together, which is a lot of
Yeah, that's
pressure. A
intense.
friend
Yeah.
trio is like
It's hard.
insane.
I'm in one. It is a lot.
It's a lot.
sometimes.
It's
Yeah.
very. I actually think I was like the main. I was like campaigning for being like, and you know what's also okay is if we divide and spend time.
You know what would be so
one on
cool?
one, like a triangular.
Yeah.
One-on-one hangs is okay. And then that just sort of naturally happened over time, and sometimes it hurt people's feelings and. Fights had to be had and things, but then we've just ebbed and flowed. Everyone's lives change and go in different directions, and like. I know about these two women that they will always be my friends. I feel that very intrinsically. And so like even when we're in an ebb moment or something and I go like, oh, this person, they're in the midst of this other kind of thing and they're doing their own thing and I don't feel as close to her as I have at points in life, but I know that we'll come back together.
Yeah.
And I was also thinking about how this is maybe akin to the ravioli moment, even though I don't remember any details about like the thing, but it's more of like a friend quote, which is that when we were younger, I don't remember which one of us was going through something or bitching about somebody, and Serena goes, well, I would help you bury the body. And that became our friend mantra, the three of us.
Good.
I will help you bury the body.
Yeah.
No questions asked.
Yeah.
And I feel like with these two women, I mean, I'm a fiercely loyal friend with all my friends. And I feel like what I'm about to say, I would say about all my friends, but especially with Jules and Serena, like an unquestionable loyalty. So if there is a person who has wronged them, even if they have also wronged that person to equal
I see where you're
amounts,
going.
Yep.
that person is dead to me.
Dead.
I will hold grudges against people that have wronged these women that they have made up with.
I feel like this is very
They have
JK.
made up.
I think this is such
Very
an
JK.
important quality in a friend where I am ready to hate.
No questions
I
asked.
am ready to, no questions asked. There's no due process. No, this is Banana Republic.
We're back at the border.
We are
Oh, yeah.
back at the border. I just think it's important to take sides for your friends who you're loyal to.
100%. And again, it does make me laugh. Like there are people that they've reconciled with and they're like, I'm actually good friends with her now. And I'm like, well, I will hate her forever. Because do you remember when she said this sentence to you?
Oh.
I will never forget it. That's not an okay thing to say to you.
Receipts for days.
Yeah.
No.
Do you remember in 2006
I-
when she was super conceited at that party?
So conceited at
She
that
was so
party.
conceited.
Oh, I'm like so mad at this imaginary person who was so conceited
She's
at the
real.
party on your.
Let me tell you,
I had a feeling
she's
she was
real.
Yeah, of course she is. Of
No,
course
she's
she is.
fucking real.
Real.
To be honest, I actually, like when you were just talking about like friends that you've cut out,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, have I? And then I was realizing like there is a person who I was totally friends with who I cut out because of how she treated one of my best friends.
Yeah,
and
she
because I was
Yes.
like, if she's capable of doing that
She gone.
to someone I care that much about, who I know is a good person, I don't know that I can feel safe with that person anymore.
Totally.
And it is about feeling safe, I think, for me, ultimately.
100. This is actually the
sentence.
sentence I said to someone. I don't feel safe being your friend anymore because I tried to voice something and the reaction was so intense. Like if I can never say to a friend, you hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
And have them want to analyze
Yeah.
why and possibly apologize.
Yeah.
And perhaps there's something I'll learn that I also need to apologize for. Like
Two-way street.
that's maybe how a
Yes.
friendship should work. Not like well, I'm furious that you're telling me your feelings are hurt or something like that.
Yeah,
Is
like
it
taking
dangerous?
it weirdly personal. And
That
yeah,
is an
yeah,
unsafe
yeah.
friend to
Yep.
me.
Yes.
Or yes, people treating my friends poorly. I'm kind of like, maybe I'll get to a place where I'm like, I'm cool with you if they're cool with you. But like deep down, I'm like, we will never
We
be
will
close.
never be okay. It can never be made okay.
I also feel like it
guys are
can
so-
never
guys are
be
so
made
intense.
okay.
Well,
We
part
are
of-
like a mob family right now. We're like, you're dead to me.
Why you go to the police? Part of what I love about Kate, and we have laughed about this over the years, is like especially anything involving like a man.
Oh,
Like-
yeah.
Like, you know, when you are like, when a friend of yours is dating someone and it's kind of like going up and down and it's in the down.
Yeah.
Like, and you take that opportunity to be like, fuck that guy. Fuck him for life. Like,
And then
I
they
think-
get back together with that guy.
well, or it just continues on.
That's
But like
what
Kate and
sort
I
of
for each
disgusting.
other, I feel like are always so willing to be like,
Fuck that guy.
That guy.
I will fight him with my hands.
100%.
Oh, yeah, same.
Even, but
Yep, yep.
and what I kind of love about it is almost especially when my friend is clearly in the wrong.
Yeah.
Like they're the one in the wrong.
Does
and they're
not
like,
matter.
they're like, I said this, something totally insane. And then he said this, something very sane and like normal. And I'm like, what? Fuck that guy.
Yeah, no.
No.
Absolutely
He is
not.
off my list. There's a time and a place for like gently telling your friends, like, I mean, what if perhaps you should call him again and say,
Zooming
maybe there's
out.
a way to
Zooming
talk about it and
out.
say this. And that time and place is not that often in
No.
some of my friendships.
Listen, we've argued about not this exact subject in regards to like a man, but we've had arguments about how honest to be with certain situations in certain moments with friends because I do tend to be on. I tend to go honest.
Go say, you, my friend, are a little bit in the wrong here.
I tend to try to gently hold a mirror.
I think that as we get older, that we do that more. Because look, if you're talking to a friend who's in a marriage,
right?
You know what I mean? And then you want to give genuine
like,
advice. Fuck your husband, I hate him. Fuck your wife. Like, no, you want to say like, oh, have you thought about bringing it up like this? Because I don't know if he this and that. You know.
Right. Yes.
So it's different from when we were younger and people were dating or any age or at any time in our lives dating wildly inappropriate people. It depends on where people are in their lives and where they are in those relationships. Certainly.
To that end, I will say a few years ago, one of my very dear friends was getting married, and it's a very small wedding. And at the end of the wedding, you know, it was like, you're a man and wife, whatever. And so people we're just in like a nice room. Anyway, the new groom is like walking towards me, and I did sort of brush past, and I leaned into his ear and I said, if you fuck this up, I'll kill you.
Oh, I have fully said that to people.
I know you have.
Yes.
But like those were the first words that were said to him coming off of the wedding. Like, and he was like, oh, okay. And I was like,
you're like, not kidding.
I mean, I said it, and I felt like it had to be said.
Yeah.
Well,
I said that to my friend Kelly's husband, who was just her boyfriend at the time, but the first time I met him, I said, if you do anything to hurt her, I will kill you.
Oh, good. I mean,
and
these are death threats.
What's your relationship like with these spouses now?
So good.
Oh, good, because they didn't fuck it up.
They didn't fuck it up, and he knows that I'm watching.
Yeah,
and I'm waiting.
He better be on good behavior.
I don't think there's an expiration date on the death threat.
There isn't.
It's you could just don't fuck it up today.
Although
but let's see how you do tomorrow.
If anything happens to him, it wasn't me.
Yeah, I know. We're terrible criminals right now.
Do you know what I said?
I said I would help you bury the body.
Before we get to the ravioli moment, I just want to bring it back because I realized I forgot one of the most important parts of the story about me forgetting the jacket at the wedding.
Go on.
So the next morning after our very fun night on your balcony, just completely blowing past all your boundaries,
Cool.
We're getting ready. My wife and I are getting, packed and, putting our stuff back together. And I take the garment bag, that the suit had been hanging in. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. It's like, it has a little weight to it at the bottom. And then I reached down at to the bottom of the Piper, yes. I reached down to the bottom of the garment bag, and the jacket is down there, and it just fell off the hanger.
But
and it is now crumpled in a ball, and it had been there the whole time.
She needs a day to shine.
Here's what I'll say: it was crumpled.
It was crumpled.
You can't wear that wrinkled jacket. There was no world where you could have ironed or steamed that in time.
I did.
Frankly, you looked great the way you were. Yeah, fuck
great.
that jacket.
You looked great.
It didn't show up when you needed it most.
Hey, jacket.
Fuck it. Jacket,
if you're listening,
watch your back,
you're dead, bitch. We are thick as thieves.
You guys are my friends.
And you're dead to me.
Oh my God, it's taken a very violent turn. Started so warm and cuddly, and now we're like, you broke.
Just to that jacket. Just to that jacket.
Hey, Allie Brie.
Yeah.
So you've listened to the pod before, so you know where we're going with the ravioli moment.
Well,
and we're wondering if you've had a great moment in friendship you'd like to share with us before we go.
Here's the thing. I don't.
You're like, the secret is I have no friends.
I thought about it a lot. I mean, the I'll bury the body moment is the thing I think of the most. Honestly, I've thought about it a lot.
Okay, I believe you.
And it made me realize that this is a shortcoming of mine as a friend, is like not giving my friends the opportunity to show up for me.
Interesting.
Do you know, I think
sounds like we're getting the core of the onion at the very end of the pod.
I like to save it the best for last.
Yeah.
I do think that I want to be the low maintenance friend to my friends, and I don't want to ask anybody for help. And I will go through whatever the trauma is by myself. And then I want to tell my closest friends about it a week later and be like, this crazy thing happened.
That is really interesting.
Follow-up question.
So even with your closest friends, sorry, I'm going right in.
Well, I was just going to ask who hurt you.
And then I was going to say, even with your closest friends, you don't feel that you can sort of hit them up in a vulnerable moment?
I don't want... but I wonder, sometimes then I go, oh, is it coming from a place of selfishness? Like, you guys, because the nature of my job is I'm not in town all the time. I can't always be there. I'm not the in case of emergency person for you. And I know I can't be, and that sucks. So like, I don't know. I don't want to ask you guys for help in an emergency. But again, this also, another factor actually might be in a positive way that like, because my mom and sister live in the city in which I live, you best believe it's my sister who's coming over when I'm so sick that I'm shitting myself and is like taking me to the emergency room. Like, I don't feel like I have to burden a friend with that because my sister...
Your sister's that person.
My sister is that person.
There
And
you
maybe
go.
that's the ravioli moment, is my sister...
Cleaning up your shit.
Cleaning up
your
my
shit.
literal shit on Christmas Day. Granted, it was her house at which I got this stomach flu.
So she kind of owes
But it's
you.
like me in my sister's bed and her taking care of, like, getting a doctor to come over on Christmas Day to her house. And like, yeah, I mean, my sister would do anything for me, like in a way that it's like she's like my mother.
Ravioli moments can be with family.
Absolutely.
It
We've
doesn't
had
mean that
some.
it has to be. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yes.
My sister is like, yeah, I could just be anywhere. I need you, come here. Do you know what I mean?
She's there.
And she is like, takes
I need
care
you
of
to kill a shirt.
everything.
Don't ask questions.
Kill
We're
this
killing a shirt
jacket.
tonight. A jacket. Sorry. I ruined the joke.
It was a jacket.
I made a shirt. Guys, I guess I'm flagging. Sorry. Wait, I love that it's your sister. I love that she would clean up your shit and get a doctor to come to the home.
I'll text her when my husband has the stomach flu and I'm like, I'm out of town. Can you bring Davy Gatorade? And she's like, I'll be right there.
What a sweetheart.
Comes over.
good
She's picked up
sister.
meds. She's got saltines. I make it sound like we're like always, like we always
Sick.
have diarrhea.
Yeah.
But I just think.
And I don't think you can undo that impression now.
No, it's out there.
It's out there, and anything else will feel like you're kicking sand over it.
Allison, thanks so
glad.
much for joining us.
Wait.
Actually,
I have a really
that's
sexy
the end. Do you have
story.
anything? Hey, Allie, it's over.
There's this one time I was sunbathing nude and with
Covered
Yeah,
in
sounds
shit,
sexy.
all
Do
the
you
breeze.
have anything you'd like to mention to our listeners before we say goodbye?
Promotion, a movie,
sweating. I hope I don't.
a toilet
have the
paper
stomach
brand
flu.
you've got an endorsement with?
It's only because that's like the worst thing I could think of. Like someone coming
I
through for you.
understand.
Like
Yeah, we're
having
wrapping up the pod.
A stomach
Yeah,
bug
sorry.
is really bad. I don't get them
Understood.
often, but like
Hey,
when
Allie,
you
talk,
get them,
talk, you know?
it can be hard. You know what I mean? What, I'm supposed to promote something now after talking about shit? Well, look, yes, I have a film called Together. It will be out August 1st.
Very exciting.
My husband and I star in it
Incredible.
together. We
Love
produced it. It's a body horror. So actually, like the gross stuff was a nice segue.
Segue.
very
It's a
nice.
little
It's
bit
a long
gross.
con.
But guess
Okay.
what? People who are not into horror will also love this movie.
Okay,
It's
because I'm
for
a little
everybody.
scared of horror movies, but
This movie is not going to scare you. It's like, definitely there's some like bananas stuff that happens, but you're not going to take it home with you like the inciting scary thing
Right.
in the movie like couldn't get you.
It can't get me where
at
I am.
home.
It can't
Yeah.
get-
okay, I'm
They couldn't
excited.
get you at home.
That's exactly the insight that I need.
But don't go to any restaurants ever again. Just kidding. Just
I'm
kidding.
intrigued,
There's
I'm
literally not a
intrigued.
restaurant in the movie.
Okay, cool.
Thank you so much for joining us. I really do
Thanks for
love you,
having
and this is the beginning of a beautiful.
Let's
Wait, can I
hang
throw
out.
in one? Yes, let's definitely hang out. Well, you never said what you thought of the glasses, though. You didn't love them, and I could tell.
Wow.
Look, I did take a big breath just now when you asked.
I felt it. It's okay. Two different people have told me no,
I do like them.
but you don't love.
I like them, and I'm not saying that I agree with the X, but like, I also want to see you in your other glasses. Like, my question is, I love them.
No, you don't.
No,
It's okay.
I do
spit.
love them, but I worry if these are your only glasses that you wear, it may affect your entire personality.
This is why I need you as my friend.
Thanks for listening. Follow us on social media at Here to Make Friends Pod and let us know who you think we should make friends with next. Email us at htmfpod@gmail.com and go out and make a friend.
That was a Headgum podcast.